Thanks, man. All good, man. Welcome back to the latest episode of 123 CABO. This is the New York Giants edition. It's your boy Zeke. They call me Fat Boy Season, man. You already know what it is. We got a very special guest in the building. Go ahead and let the people know who you are, man.
Yo, what's the word, everybody? I appreciate you, Zeke, for coming in, letting me come through. You know what I'm saying? This is Rido, aka, you know what I'm saying, Rido 2 times for the free game podcast. Salute to Zeke, salute to Fat Boy Season, salute to the Game 7 podcast. I appreciate y'all for having me in. I also want to shout out my boys on the free game podcast real quick, Vic, Tyree, Donnell, and Cito, you know what I'm saying? So again, appreciate you for having me today, man. Looking forward to
Not a-
chopping it up.
yes, sir, man. Hey, for real though, man. The free game pod, one of the best pods out right now, man. They got spaces going up every once in a while on Twitter. Make sure y'all tapping in for that for sure, man. Make sure y'all following, subscribing, all that good stuff. Spotify, them boys is out here. Great content, man. But let's get
Yes,
into it,
sir.
man. Let's get into
Appreciate
it,
you.
man. The Giants. Y'all had a rough year, man. Four and 13. I'm pretty sure that was last in the division. Offensively, I was in the bottom half. Defensively, middle of the pack pass defense, rush defense was bottom half though as well. Man, what happened this year? What's your take on why the Giants, wasn't really successful?
Just the typical usual stuff, man. Gettleman was still there. He had been there for 4 years. He came in with a Boston accent and then he left, a mute. We couldn't even hear him, you know what I'm saying? No press conference, no nothing. So
Mm,
in his 4 years, he said he was gonna build the O line. I mean, bring in all the talent, you know what I mean, out draft and out scout all the other teams, and nothing happened, right? So
mhm.
we let go of guys from the previous regime that were good at rush defense, something you talked about. We let go of specifically Dalvin Tomlinson. He gets signed to the Vikings.
Yeah,
You end up picking Dexter Lawrence with a top 16 pick or something like that, the pick we
yeah.
traded Odell for.
Hmm.
He's a two-down player at best still, and everything is shaky, man. Like, you overpay the players, bro. I could go into a long, long story of all the issues, but just basically the roster, top to bottom, just not it. Like, they've missed pretty much at every position. It's just crazy.
Facts, man. I know, they spent a lot of money. At least I feel like they spent a lot of money last offseason. Kenny Galladay had trouble staying on the field, things like that. I feel like offensively, though, if you look at skill positions, y'all got some talent there, man. Saquon, he's been up and down battling with injuries, but talent wise, one of the most talented backs in the league. Galladay, physical freak. Kadarius Toney, one of my favorite young receivers in the game. Shep, Sterling Shepard, y'all got like the talent there. Is that mostly, I guess, the struggles there? You think that's attributed to quarterback play or the coordinators or a combination of everything?
It's a combination of everything for me. It starts with the coordinators. We had Jason Garrett, the clapper. He was in there clapping it up, and we
Eight and
just
eight.
turned the ball over. Yeah, 8-8. You feel what I'm saying? He came in and gave us that mid energy, and it just spread throughout the entire offense. Not saying like we was, top of the top or nothing like that before,
Uh,
but I mean, bro, we sitting there, and every week you look up, and it's what we're struggling to get past the 50-yard line, much less score.
mm,
So it started off with Jason Garrett. He just had lackluster play calling. You speaking of Kadarius Toney Joker, bro, you see him. He's one of the most unique players in the league, I feel like.
facts.
And they didn't take advantage of him at all. Like, he obviously had injuries and all that, and we'll get
Mm,
into reasons for why that was. But
yeah.
I mean, they still didn't get him in the ball in situations where they could have, you know what I mean? Screens, dump downs, just all these little things, just get the ball in space. They couldn't do that. Kenny Galladay led the league in touchdowns, I believe, the year before we
He was
signed
he
him.
was up there, yeah.
I think he had like maybe like a tub this year. One. I don't even
None.
know if he
I
had
don't,
one.
I, I don't think he had one.
None.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He didn't have one. Saquon, like you said, came off the ACL. I believe in Saquon's ability. I
Mm,
think this year is just a year where he's getting back from the ACL, so he couldn't have an off season to really like put in that work. So I'm
right.
not writing him off completely, but yeah, it's just a combination of all those things and quarterback play. Daniel Jones, I know it's funny, John Mara, our owner, we obviously hired a new coach, new GM this off season. And John Mara said in all the interviews, like all the GMs was giving Daniel Jones praise. And they were saying, like, oh, Daniel Jones, he's a good quarterback. It's like, yeah, of course, they all gonna say that. They're trying to get the job. But
Yeah.
I mean, let me ask you a question. What you think about Daniel Jones as a player? Because I could tell you what I think.
I think physical tools are there. He's one of the more athletic quarterbacks in the league, but he turns the ball over too
Mm-hmm.
much, and he's very inconsistent. I think he flashed a little bit at the beginning of the season, but then like Daniel Jones just started to be Daniel Jones again. He went back to regressing, turning the ball over, missing reads, and stuff like that. So but like with quarterbacks, a lot of the time, I think it's a delicate situation. It depends on who's your coordinator, who's your head coach, what they got around you. Like I said, the talent around them is good, but like the people calling the shots wasn't really competent. I don't think, because like if you look, Mahomes fell into a great situation with Andy Reid. You look at Lamar Jackson, just Baltimore being Baltimore. That's a great situation. And then you got like other
Mm-hmm.
quarterbacks that don't really have that, and they kind of struggle because of it. Now, I think the potential's there. Now, whether or not after what it's been 3 years, after 3 years, can you kind of kick those habits? I don't know. But then also, they, I heard this somewhere, like around draft season, you start hearing about a quarterback that you ain't heard of yet, and Daniel Jones was kind of that guy his draft year. So like talent
Mm-hmm.
wise, he has the potential, but like talent and potential can only do so much. You got to actually put in the work and produce too.
I feel you. I feel that. It sounds like you higher on Daniel Jones than me because even talent wise, I think his arm is mediocre. I know a lot of people say he got a big arm, but every time I watch him play, like the interceptions that he has sometimes, a lot of the times the cornerbacks, the defensive backs, whoever it is, be jumping the route, and to
Right.
me that's a sign of lack of arm strength because if
Mm-hmm.
you only got
They
a
got,
so much of a window to get the ball in it, you feel me? So
yeah.
like he don't have that. You talked about him being a runner. He's a fast runner. Don't get me wrong. He got no wiggle
Mm-hmm.
though. He's like a track star.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
you
No
remember
wiggle at
Robert
all.
Griffin? Yeah, you know what
Yeah.
I mean? RG3, like, all right, the reason why he got hurt was because he can't make nobody miss. So he's taking the full blunt of every hit. You feel what I'm saying? Daniel Jones is the
Mm-hmm.
same way. That's why when I see people talk about running RPOs or any sort of quarterback draws, quarterback sneaks, anything like that, any design quarterback run play, I'm like, bro, I mean, how you think he got hurt this year? He ran right into the linebacker head first. I mean, neck injury, all that. Like, it's just concussion, CTE waiting to
Did that
happen.
start that Dallas game? Because that Dallas game, he got up and he about fell back down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
See.
It started the Dallas game, but you watch every time he runs. It's the same thing.
Yeah. So like, I'm not like I said. Overall, I'm not super high on him, but I do think talent is there. Um, and I would
Mm-hmm.
like to see how he does. With what I think is a competent head coach. It's as far as like quarterback development and stuff, because obviously Brian Daboll played a huge part in Josh Allen ascending to where he is now. So,
Right.
but like if I had a draft and it was like pick a quarterback, Daniel Jones would be probably like 27 or something like that. Like just because I can only, like I said, at some point you got to produce, and that talent and potential got to come to results, which I don't think it have.
I know
And
we I know we can't talk. I'm sorry, real quick. I know we can't talk about Deshaun Watson, but like, I'm not talking about him as a person. I'm just talking about him as a player. Look at the situation he was in with Bill O'Brien. It's like that.
mhm,
Like, I mean, he's not the greatest offensive mind, offensive coordinator. He
right.
thrived. Daniel Jones, I believe, leads the league in turnovers the last three
Mhm,
seasons. So yeah, it's like
mhm.
that excuse can only go so far. You feel me?
Yeah, yeah. That's true though, and I guess that kind of is more of a testament to like Deshaun Watson being a really good player. Like sometimes the talent is just going to override the situation regardless. Like even the last year they went like what 3-13, 4-12, whatever they did. He led the league in passing yards. Like and who was he really throwing to? Brandon Cooks and Fuller, who Fuller made a glass anyway. Like you know what I'm saying? So bro, I promise you hear
Yeah.
that every year. But so yeah, we kind of I guess I briefly mentioned Brian Daboll. How you feel about the hiring of the former Bills executive coming to be the GM, and then Brian Daboll as the head coach?
You know, um, obviously there's a huge controversy around it, but I'm just gonna separate that for a second and just talk about them specifically. I like Brian Daboll. I like Joe Shane by themselves. I wanted Adam Peters or the polls guy from the Chiefs. I wanted them to above Shane. And the reason why is when you look at the Bills roster, when you really look at the Bills roster, let me just ask you a quick question. Name 5 elite players on the Bills roster.
Josh Allen, Stephon Diggs, uh,
Tre'Davious White.
Tre'Davious White. You got to say one of the safeties is elite. I think Poyer better than
If you want to
Hyde.
put Micah Hyde there or Poyer,
One of them. I say one of them.
Either
Elite.
or. I'll
And
give
then
you
that's
one. I'll give you
and
one.
that's probably it.
So when I say that, the reason why I say that, obviously, elite players, it's 53-man roster. So 53 men win in the league. But really, when it comes down to in the playoffs, the players that make the big plays are your elite guys. The Chiefs, you look at them, Chris Jones, Pat Mahomes, Tyreek Hill. I mean, the Rams, you could run off the roster right now. You got, Aaron Donald, and the list goes on and on. The Bengals, Joey B and Jamar Chase been carrying on the entire year. T. Higgins, The Bills, to me, they kind of shaky with the drafting. Like, I like Edmonds. I don't love him. They missed on Shaq Lawson at the defensive edge. You know what I'm saying? They can find some players that are pretty good, but I'm trying to find greatness. That was my thing with the Peters guy from the 49ers and the Chiefs guy. The Chiefs guy, they said, found Creed Humphrey, who's been the best center in the league this year. Now, obviously, we need better O-line play. Adam Peters, they say he's basically responsible for damn near the entire roster. And you look at the 49ers roster, they finding gems everywhere. Mm-hmm. So it's not that I hated Shane, but he was third for me. And then Daboll, I like him because of Josh Allen, but I don't like him if you're sitting there trying to tell me you're trying to revive Daniel Jones' career or whatever it is, because he, like you said, this is year 4. This is a 5-year rookie deal. Is Daniel Jones good enough to be the best player on a championship team? Not to me. And I don't want to pay that type of guy $40 million, because that's how much you got to pay a quarterback going forward.
Minimum.
You feel me? So, to me, so just get rid of Daniel Jones, move on. But I don't mind Daboll and Shane. It's better than what we had in the past.
Facts. See, but I would say that, I guess the Bills don't have the elite or the number of elite players, but at the same time, you said the 49ers guy. How many elite players have they brought in? Since Buddy's been there. I'm assuming you got Debo, Nick Bosa. Did he bring in Fred Warner? I don't know.
Fred Warner. Yeah, probably.
I'm assuming he might have been there when did they sign a trade? Right. Did they sign Trent Williams or trade for him or whatever? They might have been there, but that's
they traded for him, second round pick.
But you know what he is. You knew what he was already, right?
That's like Stephon Diggs for the Bills. I feel what you're saying. Yeah. I feel you.
So it's very hard to draft a lot of elite talent. Now, Kansas City's done that, but at the same time, Kansas City, one of the main people that drafted all that talent was John Dorsey. And John Dorsey was the Browns GM for 2 years. He brought in Kareem Hunt. He brought in Jarvis Landry. He brought in Odell. And he was the same person that drafted Kareem Hunt. And I'm assuming he drafted Tyreek Hill. He drafted maybe Kelsey. I don't know if he was there at the time for Kelsey. But definitely Hill and Mahomes, I believe he was there for. So, but building, like you said, everybody can't be elite. But I think the guy from the Bills has helped form a team that is their floor is 10, 11 wins, and partially because you got the quarterback, but at the same time you're building players that play well together, like chemistry wise. Like I said, maybe Hyde and Poyer are not elite, but they're top 10 safeties in their perspective, like free safety and strong safety. You got Tre'Davious White, who's a top 5 corner when healthy. And then the defense that was number 1 offense and passing and rushing. So and like I said, talent isn't 100% y'all problem. Because offensively it's there. But you just got to stabilize your offensive line and hit a home run on the quarterback position. And like I say, I think Dayball probably was just like, yeah, I like Daniel Jones. He can be my guy. Blah blah blah. So what's probably going to happen is he's going to do his best to revive his career. But like after this year, they're going to be like, if he fails, like he's not the guy, man. We got to either go draft somebody or go make a splash trade, try to get Russ if he's still in Seattle or whatever the case may be there.
That's true.
So moving on, y'all got some free agents coming up. Some of the bigger free agents on your team: Nate Solder, Evan Ingram, Jabril Peppers, Danny Shelton, Reggie Ragland, Will Hernandez on the O-line, and Lorenzo Carter. Any of those guys? Any of those guys that you want back? Just go, all of them out.
Skedaddle, all of them. Goodbye. Yeah. Or listen, if I'm being serious, maybe you could throw Lorenzo Carter a couple million. You know what I'm saying? Come back. Yeah. Play the edge, be a third, fourth, fifth edge or whatever. But Solder, my God, bro, sold your way on out of here. What's the other one? Will Hernandez.
Yeah,
man, bro. Let me tell you something. When Will Hernandez got drafted, I was like, yo, that's a steal. Mm-hmm. Bro, I'm hoping people steal him from this team. He is so bad, bro. Like, yo, I've never seen a guy who's supposed to be a tough guy get bullied around so much. And he's steady, like, fighting after the play. It's like an offensive lineman. Like, bro, fight during the play. You feel me? Or the cheap shot after the play. Yeah, like.
It don't matter. You just got beat 3 times in a row.
Right. Like, you know what I mean? What's that doing for us? So, yeah, all them guys you named, they can all go, bro. You can add more, too. Yeah, get them out of there.
Fact. Okay. So y'all in a bit of a situation when it comes to free agent money, cap space. Y'all in the negatives, at least as of now, negative 10 mil. I'm assuming they're gonna try to do something to get back to the the positive as far as cap space. I'm assuming that's like
what was our record again?
4-13, man. 4-13.
In the negative in cap space. Just that's incredible.
That's bad, man. That's like, I know like some of the other teams that I saw in the negative was like New Orleans, and even with all their injuries, they still went 9-8. New Orleans and there was a few other teams, but they were like teams that were winning. So I don't know. I don't know who's like who you guys can, your usual cap casualties and stuff like that. I'm assuming it may be some guys on the defensive side of the ball. So with that being said, y'all got the number 5 and the number 7 picks, and y'all got some team needs. Some of the team needs I identified is quarterback, obviously, offensive line, obviously, linebacker, D-line, we kind of talked on that, and then tight end as well. What you think about those needs? And I guess, do you think I would say what's the best way to address it, but you really just got drafted. So
yeah.
So with that being said, do you like any of the quarterbacks in this year's draft?
Listen, I haven't had a chance to really watch none of them. I'm like not busy for me, but I've seen Malik Willis. I watched tape. He's up and down, right? There's like consistency issues, ball placement issues, but he reminds me of Josh Allen a couple years ago. And when I watch tape, you feel me? Like I know what I'm watching a lot of the times. And when I saw Josh Allen, I was like, you know what I'm saying? Like it's the same consistency issues, but he flashed. And I missed out on him. I was like, yo, I think all these different quarterbacks. Like I remember in the draft, I had Baker, Lamar, and Josh Rosen above him. And obviously Josh Allen right now is either the first or second best quarterback, depending on how you rank him and Lamar, you know what I'm saying? But he's top 2 in that class, you feel me? Yeah. And Malik Willis has that to me. So, like, what I learned from that is you kind of got to build on potential and trust your coaching, especially you got a guy like Brian Dabble who has that track record with Josh Allen. So he'd be the only quarterback that I'd even think about drafting, you feel what I'm saying, if he's there. But I want to trade down either 5 or 7. Yeah. Preferably the 7th pick, trade down and just get more picks because, like you said, we're in the negative in the cap. So you already know this year it's probably going to be dead cap like crazy. They getting rid of mad players. You can't really get nobody in free agency. So you got to build through the draft. So trade down one of them picks, get some more picks, and just build like that. So just go best player available, position by position, draft slot by draft slot, and just do that.
I think, man, like bad teams, you can tell the bad teams and the good teams as far as like the people building the teams when you look at like drafts and stuff. Like my perfect example is like the Jaguars last year. You literally got an undrafted free agent in James Robinson, and then you go get Travis Etienne late first round. Like, I'm like, bro, get like a positional need at that point. Like that's why the bad teams stay bad. Either you reach on players that a lot of people don't have high grades on, or you continue to try to make the strength where you don't need it. Like they could have went a million different places on an impact player immediately. You could have went and got your quarterback, a wide receiver that could have been really good. Because I think maybe Elijah Moore might have been still there, and they had a couple other wide receivers, that had really good years as rookies. And then you could have, throw it at a defensive player or something like that. But you tend to see that a lot, man. And I feel like it's not that difficult. Like even if you go get a different position and they don't perform, but you tried to fill a need. You had literally a 1,000-yard back who didn't come off the field. Like, I don't get it. I know you had the quarterback and they played together in college, cool. But to me, stuff like that doesn't make sense. So I would definitely like to see y'all, like, make good use of good picks, especially with 2 top 10 picks.
Bro, let me tell you something. The one thing I'll tell you that I don't want more than anything is I've obviously been in mock draft mode since like week 2. You feel what I'm saying? There's that center from Iowa. His name is Linderbaum or something like that.
Yeah.
I swear to God, if we pick him in the top 10, I'm gonna scream, bro. Like, yo, you don't ever. He's good, but you don't take a center at the 7th pick. You feel what I'm saying? You take a tackle. You maybe if a guard is elite, like if he's like a Quentin Nelson type, you take him. You don't take a center there. You can go ahead get an edge. So that's what I prefer. You know what I'm saying? Get an edge rusher, get an offensive tackle. You got to build the lines, like you said. Like that's one thing I think I've learned more and more about football is that the consistency of your front 7, or I mean not your front 7, your front 4 and your front 5 on both sides is really, going to determine a lot on your team. You feel what I'm saying? 100%. And like you said, we've been mad shaky. Yeah, like so it's like look at the Browns. You got Baker Mayfield, and he stinks, but your offensive line solid, defensive line solid. So like the floor, like you said, Pia, is just gonna be so high. You feel what I'm saying? Just because it's like y'all gonna be in games regardless because you dominating the trenches. Yeah.
Facts. Yeah, a lot of people that don't really watch the game don't understand that, bro. Like taking a tackle in the top 10 is a great draft pick usually. Like build that line, and then maybe that quarterback that gets sacked all the time, maybe the 50 sacks, the 55 sacks is 40 next year. Like stuff like that matters, man. Dominate the trenches, which is kind of weird with the Bengals making it to the Super Bowl with like their trench issues, 9 sacks versus the Titans and stuff like that. You'd be like, and like that defensive line is cool. I mean, Trey Hendrickson's really good, but like outside of that, the rest of them are they're cool. DJ Reed is pretty good, but they don't really like dominate either line of scrimmage, which the Rams do, which may be a reason the Rams might win. But that's when you have like that quarterback and then that skill position group that can elevate you above those flaws. So that's kind of like 2 ways to look at it. But with y'all not having that elite quarterback, you definitely got to invest in those trenches. How you feel about Andrew Thomas?
I like Andrew Thomas. Andrew Thomas is one of the few bright spots on the team. Early on, he was getting a lot of jokes from like the national media and shit like that because people like Willis or what's my man name from the Buccaneers, Wirfs.
Yeah.
And so they was clowning him. But Andrew Thomas is very consistent in pass block. He's not like the most athletic tackle you've ever seen, but he gets in good position to run block. So all those things are very good, and he's still young, and he's getting better and better. If you go back and watch his junior year tape, I think it was his junior year tape, he was like the most dominant left tackle in the country. And He's just getting better and better. So I like him. The rest of the offensive line can bounce
though. Facts. Yeah, like you said, he came around. I think this year because I know I hadn't watched a lot of them, but like I said, I seen a lot of the jokes saying how he wasn't good and talking about the other tackles in that draft. Like for us, we got Jedrick Wills, he stay injured, man. His ankles is trash, bro. Like put some freaking I don't know, bro. Wrap your ankles up, bro. Tape them up.
Yeah,
ankle
man.
braces. Bro, ankle braces work wonders. Ankle braces, bro. Like it's simple, dog. He got there every year. Like this, he got hurt the first game of the season,
crazy.
and it wasn't the same the rest of the year. Tried to play on it, but he couldn't get no depth in his kicks. Like he looked like he was hurt. But yeah. So speaking of that, I looked at a couple mocks. They got y'all getting with the 5th pick, Kim Ekwonu. Probably fucked that up.
Yeah.
But the left tackle from NC State. So I guess to play your other tackle position, beefing up that offensive line, get the trenches right, makes a lot of sense there. I seen George Karlaftis, edge rusher from Purdue.
Oh hell no!
And I've seen him range. I've seen him range between like top 10, and then I've also seen him like the end of the first round. So that kind of tells you that they're iffy on him.
Let me tell you something about him, man. You remember how I was talking about elite players earlier at the Bills? He's that style of player that they would draft. Last year, they drafted this player. You probably know him. He's from the U. Greg Rousseau. Rousseau, yeah, okay. You watch him on tape, edge rusher, he didn't really have a plan a lot of the times when he was going to attack. He had no specific movements. Just a real long, somewhat athletic defensive edge that had real raw potential. But they had another guy named Shaq Lawson who was a bull rusher, power rusher. A lot of his stuff was like power to speed. You know what I mean? The way he did it. Karlaftis is that type, not really bendy. He's not really going to change the game. Yeah. But I feel like he's going to be a solid defensive end. You feel what I'm saying? Maybe like the type that's going to get 5 to 8 sacks a year-ish. I don't want that guy. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not with the 7th pick. Trade down and get somebody with a little more potential than that. Because we suck anyway. You might as well go for the home run. You feel what I'm saying? Yeah. Don't play it safe. What's the point at this point? You feel what I'm saying? Like, so no thanks on him. But I think the guy's name Ikem Ekwonu or something like that.
Yeah.
He's nice. He could play. He mean too. But he mean
I like the play. I like the mean lineman.
Yeah.
Nasty big boy. Yeah, my favorite lineman is just off rip is Quentin Nelson, bro. Quentin Nelson. Well, him and Trent Williams.
Dog.
Quentin Nelson, bro. Dog, man. Straight. He gonna maul you the whole play. He gonna lay on you. he gonna block. He gonna block you into the linebacker, into the safety, all the way off the field. I love that, bro. I love that. We got Wyatt Teller. He kind of like that in the run game. I like Buddy. We got him from the Bills for like a 4th round pick or something. So still.
See, look at that. Look at that, man.
Hey, shout out to my black GM, man. And then they got another edge rusher, David Ojabo. I don't know. From Michigan. He's the other one on the opposite side.
I've seen him too. I like him. Listen, if you go try to get a defensive end in like the mid part of the first round, you go try to get a talent like him. He's very raw. From what I read about him, he started playing football in like high school or something like that, like real late. But he's 6'5". I mean, he probably gonna test crazy. He probably gonna run like a 4.6 or something like that. Yeah. Put up a whole bunch on the bench. He got some bend. He has a little spin move. I'm not comparing him to this guy, but obviously everybody knows Dwight Freeney had the crazy spin move. I mean, he dominated the league for like 15 years doing that. I'm not comparing him to him. Yeah. I'm just saying he has potential in terms of his raw tools and athleticism, where it's like, all right, maybe if we can develop that guy in 2-3 years, we could do that. Because we did that with another guy with the Giants, JPP. He was real raw. He had just started playing high school football, and look what he turned out to be his rookie year. He had like 16 sacks or something like that. And he's still playing to this day. So that's the type of edge you go try to get. Not George Karlaftis. No disrespect to him, you know what I'm saying? But just my opinion.
How you feel about the edge that y'all drafted last year from Georgia?
Ojulari, he cool. He cool. He's more like he's not going to be that dominant edge one type you're looking for. He's not in that Garrett class or nothing like that. But he's the type that could develop into like I'm trying to think of a name. Maybe like Daniil Hunter from
the
Minnesota Vikings.
Yeah.
He developed over time into who he became.
Yeah,
he's
became
nice.
dominant.
No.
He's nice.
Yeah, he's nice. But he didn't start out his career like that. He had to develop into that. Azeez Ojulari is that type, but he's more like a 3-4 end. He's more like a type of guy that you play maybe like you could even slide into 3-tech every now and then, but not really. You could actually put him at offensive linebacker in a 3-4 edge because he's not really the 280-pound edge. He's like a 250 type.
Like a
got to use his bend more. Yeah, like a Chandler Jones type. Not as long, obviously, but I like him. He cool.
When it comes to like edge rushes and stuff, I'm kind of happy the way that the draft fell last year. Just speaking from a Browns perspective, because I wanted Buddy from Georgia, I wanted Russo, and a couple of other guys, but like they were taken before we picked, so we ended up going with Newsome at corner, who had a really good rookie year, and then the second round, I was like, man, trade up for the D lineman for the Patriots, Barmore. I wanted to get Barmore. For the inside, but then
the Alabama guy, right?
Alabama guy who balled out, but then we just stayed put. Yeah. And we got JOK from Notre Dame, linebacker, who I think has the potential to be crazy, like ridiculous athlete at linebacker, sideline to sideline, plays pass defense really well, can blitz. It's like kind of like a Devin White, but bigger than the Devin White. I feel like Devin White looked like he was like 5'10". 5'11" at best, but he looked bigger. So that actually worked out perfectly for us. So
I saw him play last year. He had first-round talent. It was just a matter of finding the positions for him because not every defensive coordinator likes to do that. It's the same thing. He was similar to what's my man name? Is it Isaiah Wilson, the kid from Clemson the year before?
Simmons. Isaiah
Simmons. Thank you. He was similar to him in the fact that he's not really a linebacker, not really a safety. But the thing is, these guys can move at 4.5, 4.4 and can cover. So,
yes.
I mean,
put
them on the field and let them go.
And will hit. Yeah. And like for us, it was
could hit.
Who?
JOK could hit more than even Simmons.
Yeah. And what's so special about him, and I guess what's so good for us, is we play in the division with Lamar Jackson. And when we played them, he made a difference. Lamar threw 4 picks that game. He threw 4 picks. He made a hell of a difference. Just being able to kind of spy a little bit. Lamar still don't get his, but like he made some open field tackles. You'd be like, okay, the dude's special right here.
Well, I mean, you think about it too. Facts. You think about it too. They play a lot of too high now in this league because of the athleticism of the quarterbacks now, and how teams are spreading out. You feel me? And that's why there's a kid named Kyle Hamilton from Notre Dame. That's how you say it. 6'4", 200 safety. He's a type that you could play him single high by himself. He could play in 2-man. He could come down. He's just very versatile. You feel what I'm saying? So like, that's another player. If you think about it, you trade down and you could go get. So yeah, that's that thing. It just really depends, bro.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of people be high on him. Because like you said, he's just athletic, man. Like you said, 6'4", big body. I've seen a lot of people be high on him, man. So, one of my favorite questions is, what would a realistic and perfect offseason for the Giants look like?
Okay, very simple. This is really simple, actually. You cut all dead weight, so you let all free agents go. There's going to be some tough cuts, some people that you like that I think have to go just for the future of the team. James Bradbury, he's going to be 29, I think, or 30, something like that this season. Got like a $16 or $17 million cap hit. Unfortunately, got to cut him, take that dead cap, move on. Same with Blake Martinez. Cut him, move on. Same with Shep, young Shep. That's my guy. You feel what I'm saying? I think we mismanaged his career. I think you can go on and have a great season next year if you can go up and find a place where you can just play in the slot. Gotta go. And yeah, so you just do that. Hopefully, you're able to trade down from 7 and get more picks. Maybe get a future pick for next year. If some team loves a quarterback or something like that, can trade up. We can get another first-round pick for next year. And just draft and go into next season. Let the season be what it's going to be.
Yeah, basically just kind of get the young talent on the field, see what you got, make some good solid draft selections, and then get rid of the dead weight. I feel that.
Just another evaluation year.
Yeah. So I guess with your quarterback situation, how do you want that to go? Do you want to attempt to get somebody in the draft either this year or next year? Do you want to make a trade? Do you want to get a free agent? And just kind of as a bridge quarterback, with how you want to approach the quarterback situation?
To me, we're not in a position to make a trade. So I think that's X'd out. As much as I like a Russell Wilson or somebody like that, you know what I mean? Like, I don't feel like we can do that. As far as the draft this year, I like Malik Willis, but like I said, I would like him more in like the mid-first round. And I have a feeling he's probably just going to climb up into the top 10 at some point. So maybe we trade down with a team and then go try to get a guy next year. I know people was talking about Bryce Young. I'm going to keep it a buck, bro. I like Bryce Young. Listen, my mother's from Tuscaloosa, Alabama. So he's an Alabama fan, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, I got no hate towards Alabama. I just keep it a buck. Bryce Young, to me, I'm a little shaky on him as an NFL player. We'll see about what's that kid? The other one from Ohio State. I forget his name. Stroud, CJ Stroud or something like that. Yeah. Maybe him. You know, there's a quarterback every year that pop up out of nowhere that, you know, has a great season. So probably do that. Try to draft a guy. Let Daniel Jones try it this year. He's probably going to fail. If he doesn't fail, we could trade him for something nice. You know what I'm saying? Maybe a second-round pick, first-round pick, whatever you can get for him, third-round pick. You know what I'm saying? I don't really care at this point. I just don't believe in him. Too many turnovers. He was a loser at Duke. He's a loser in the league. He was co-signing the loser judge. So that's how, you know, his mentality is. He is a losing mentality, unfortunately. So, yeah. I'm just giving a buck. So, yeah, that's how I feel about it. Just do that. Probably draft a guy in 2023 now? Yeah, 2023. Time flying.
I feel that. See, I like Bryce, but he was a true freshman though, right? So he got a little time to kind of get right. He got 2 years. 2 years, a lot can happen in 2 years. Maybe he can get consistent. Maybe he can be better. Maybe you know, he can be that guy. Like I said,
freshman year, actually a redshirt freshman. I want to say.
Really? Oh, maybe. I don't know. So
I want to say he was a redshirt.
So I mean, he got potential. So 2022 New York Giants projections. What do you think y'all are going to do?
Last year, I said 2 and. Last year, I said 2-15, and we went 4-13. It's funny. I said 2-13, 2-15. And everybody thought I was lying. I was like, nah, I'm just being dead ass, bro. Like the team sucks. I want us to get the number 1 overall pick, so I'm gonna say 3-14. 3-14. Hopefully, let the offense improve. You know what I'm saying? Maybe the defense plays better, more consistently, because let's keep it a buck. The last half of the season, we were the worst team in the league. So it's only up from there. So we'll probably be better than this year, but hopefully the record is not. So I'm going to say 3-14 in my dreams. Realistically, we'll probably be like 5-11 or 6-10 or something like
that. Okay. 10-4. All right, man. Hey, it's all right, man. Like you said, it's only up from here, my boy. Y'all, one day. Hey, I mean, shoot. When last time y'all made the playoffs? You with Eli? Well, I guess it had to be with Eli.
16. It had to be with Odell.
Oh yeah. The Miami boat season. It went on the boat with Trey Songz and no shirts and Timberlands. Yeah, okay.
Listen, man. Chill out. Yo, let my boys live, man. Yo. Shout out to my boy Odell, man. He in the Super Bowl. After everybody tried to clown on him. Yeah.
Big shout out to Odell, man.
Oh, yeah. Hey. You had Odell, too. That's right.
Big shout out to Odell, man. I've always been like, whoa. He still got juice. I've been saying that all year. I'm like, bro, he still got juice. Like, when he does get the ball, like, he's still He still got that job. I was like last year, the game we got him the ball versus Dallas, 3 touchdowns. He had like 200 yards of total offense. Like, boy, went crazy. And obviously the ACL, and he came back. First game, I think he had like he came back against the Bears. I think he had like 5 for 77, something slight. So I was like, okay, maybe we figured out the whole Odell thing, and then it was kind of trash. It was downhill from
Let me ask you one thing before we go, just
there. Yeah.
about that Odell thing. What was it? Him and Baker couldn't get along thing? Was it like a personal thing, or was it just simply football? Was it Stefanski? What's the problem? What was the problem there?
Man, I always come across this question. So everybody played their hand in it. I say first and foremost. I'd say first off, their chemistry, Odell and Baker was never good. Like just if you go pure numbers, like targets and I guess percent of targets caught, it never was good. Like and that was they've only and then with that being said, they only played one full season together. 2019 was the only full season. 2020 Odell gets hurt. 2021 Odell leaves. So they only played one full season together. Odell had 1,000 yards, but only like 3 touchdowns or something like that. So that's part of it. So they never had like a connection or that chemistry. I know prior to Odell coming to Cleveland, they were friends. I don't know like how close they were. Obviously, they wasn't
Right.
Jarvis and Odell close, but they had some type of relationship. Now, did that sour over football? Maybe, potentially. It seemed like they were not as close towards the end of the season or end of Odell's time in the season. But then also part of it is fit, like team fit. Everybody said Odell never wanted to be in Cleveland from the jump. I can't confirm or deny that, but he probably didn't. But also, like I said, John Dorsey brought him in from Kansas City where he had Andy Reid. So he was like, okay, we're going to air this thing out. We're going to be a passing team. We got Baker Mayfield. He plays spread offense, 3-4 wide all game. We're going to air it out. This is what we're going to do. Mm-hmm. He gets fired. Freddie Kitchens, who never should have been hired. He's on y'all staff or was on y'all staff. He got fired. Like, bro, he went from running backs coach to offensive coordinator to head coach in like 8 months. Come on now. So
crazy.
So both of them got fired, and then we bring in Andrew Berry as the GM, and then we bring in Kevin Stefanski. Kevin Stefanski's from the Mike Shanahan tree. The whole, runs the same offense. Sean McVay, Shanahan, all them boys. Mm-hmm. Same offense. We're gonna run. We're gonna zone run. We're gonna boot. Then we still gonna run some powers on offense, but majority gonna be under center, and this is how we're gonna do it. We're gonna run it 30, 40 times a game, and then the quarterback make a few throws here and there. So from that point, that offense kind of doesn't fit the mentality of Baker. And then also it didn't fit the mentality of Odell, he's a receiver. Like he's thriving because they opened it up a little bit more in LA with the Rams, right? So a good portion of that was like play calling and just getting them the ball. Kind of like you say with Kadarius Toney, like just get him the ball. Like hit him with a screen, hit him with a slant, hit him with a hitch, hit him with whatever to get him involved early and often. And then, late in the game, he can go make that big catch for you and you'll be good. And, everybody's happy. But and like the biggest issue was we weren't winning this year, at least not consistently. So like last year, beginning of the year, Odell wasn't getting the ball a lot, but we were winning, and he still was getting the ball a little bit. So it's like, all right, cool. You can tolerate a lot more things when you're winning, and then when you start losing, then you're like, bro, if you give me the ball, maybe we'll be doing better. So a good portion of that is Stefanski and play calling, and just overall fit. And then a good portion of that is Baker missed them a lot this year in particular. And then part of that is Odell was just like, bro, I'm tired of it. That's how
okay. I feel so that's interesting. So this is basically a put up or shut up year for Baker because you see Odell doing his thing, and this will be Baker. Wait, did they even pick up his 5th year? I don't even know, right? Did they?
Yeah, it's picked up. They picked it up. They picked it up for the season.
Okay, so they picked it up. So then, yeah. Okay, copy. So then it'll be a put up or shut up year for him because Odell doing this thing, like you said, and Baker kind of struggling. So, and okay, that's interesting. That's interesting.
With Baker, the Baker situation is he's inconsistent. So like obviously he had probably his worst season, maybe his worst season. But like he's inconsistent. Like his first year was really good. He was about to win offensive rookie of the year, but Saquon got it because Saquon was special that year. So I think he went like 27 touchdowns, like 14 picks, almost 4,000 yards, and he didn't start the first 3 games. So he was really good. Big time throws, all that stuff. All that stuff Skip Bayless points out. And then the second year, Freddie Kitchens year, which I throw out the window. He had like 22 touchdowns, 21 picks. Horrible year. And then the first year, Stefanski, 26-8. He was making good throws, contested throws, on the money that last 10 games of the season. But after Odell got hurt, which kind of sparked this whole debate even more. He was like 20 touchdowns, 3 picks, 2 picks, something like that. Played good in a playoff win. Came back the next week, played decent against Kansas City, but his team kind of let him down. And then this year, the Kansas City game to open the season played really well. 300 yards. He threw a pick at the end, but he was trying to throw it out. Played really well. Second game of the season. Started off like 8 for 8 or like 10 for 10, and he threw a pick. And then he got hurt. And then after that, it was just up and down the rest of the season. So, like, I'm kind of interested to see how he'll be healthy. But if we can get an upgrade, go ahead and pull the trigger. Because
man.
Can Baker at his best beat Mahomes, Allen, Herbert, Burrow, Lamar at their best, which is the gauntlet that you have to go through in the AFC. And the answer to that for me is no. So upgrade your quarterback position.
Yeah, man, because you don't want to be stuck paying a guy $35 million a year, and you're like losing valuable players on the roster for a guy who can't pick up that slack and make them better. Baker is just listen, man. I thought Baker was very good coming out of the draft, so it's not like I don't take no joy in saying it. I just think he's mediocre, he's average, which is cool. You know what I mean? There'll be some team that'll figure it out, but yeah.
And that's part of a Stefanski thing, man. He don't, we talk about head coaches adjusting to your talent. Like Baker Mayfield isn't an under center quarterback. They're like, he got a quarterback. He got a quarterback friendly offense, and he can be good in that. But if you got to mix in some of the stuff that allows Baker Mayfield to ascend, and he does like the shotgun and the spread and all that, but he does that to throw little 5-yard outs and little 5-yard hitches. Like, nah, fam. Get Austin Hooper out of here. I'm tired of seeing him catch the ball and fall or drop it. Get him out of here. Put in Njoku in. Get you some receivers, which I hate saying. Get you some receivers, even though you just let Odell go. Get you some receivers that can play. And every once in a while, spread it out. And then even if you're going to spread out, you still can run. You still can go five linemen, a tight end, put Chubb or Hunt in the back and run zone all game out of shotgun. Like, you can do that. Counters, traps, all that. All that's still there.
Yeah.
Same offense. Just put him in the gun.
It's just, I don't know, man. I feel you. I think there are better quarterbacks to do what Stefanski wants to do. It's kind of trying to fit a square peg in a round hole type of shit. You feel me? But that's life, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, at least y'all winning. You feel me?
Not enough, bro. We got too much talent to only win 8 games. Man. Too much talent for that.
That's very true.
Too much talent, man. But, man, this was a great conversation, man. I really appreciate you for coming on, dog. This is your boy Zeke, Fatboy Season. Catch me on Instagram at Fatboy Season, Twitter, Fatboy Season Inc., TikTok, Fatboy Season 1. I've been telling everybody I've been beating cases. They've been taking my videos down. But I just appealed one. Hey, we want to know. Hey, I got like 3 more appeals to go. One of my videos was doing numbers.
Yeah.
Had like 10,000 likes. We was doing numbers. They don't want to see you shine, man.
Mm-hmm.
But let the people know.
I'm in NY. So, word. I'm going to let the people know, but I'm just tell you, I'm in NY. I know Brian Flores Lawyers is in NY, so I'm going to hook you up with them. You feel what I'm saying? We're going after TikTok. We're gonna
protect
free some
black
of them
men.
videos. You know what I'm saying?
Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
man. You know what I'm
Yes, sir.
saying?
100%,
Yes, sir.
man. Yes, sir, man. Let them know
Listen,
where they can
man.
find you
Yeah,
at,
you know what
man.
it is. Word. You know what? Don't even worry about finding me. Find at the Free Game Pod on all your social media platforms. So follow the Free Game Pod on YouTube. We'll probably be dropping videos in the next year, 3,000. You feel what I'm saying? Follow us on Twitter at the Free Game Pod. We're doing spaces, like my boy said, like Zeke said. We're just trying to build it up a little bit more. And you can follow us on Spotify, Anchor, and any other platform. I believe we're gonna be on Apple Podcasts soon enough. So yeah, I appreciate you for coming on, letting me come on. And again, shout out to all my boys on the Free Game Pod, Vic, Christian, Tyree, and Donnell. Salute. Appreciate you, bro.
Yes, sir, man. Absolutely, dog. Make sure you follow all of them expeditiously, dog. Great content, great laughs, great everything, bro. From movies to music to sports, they cover it all, dog. It gets my stamp of approval, so you already know it's official, dog. Man, this has been another episode of 123 Cabo, the New York Giants edition, man. We out.